Hey y'all, Vaughn Twins here, and we are back for another Twin Talk Tuesday. So today what we have for you guys is things you have always wondered about twins, or questions that you've always wanted to ask twins and didn't know how to ask them. And
Vaughn Twins are here to answer.
Yes. So we're just gonna go on ahead and jump right into it. We have about 10 to 12 questions. We're just gonna read them right off the page and we're gonna answer them.
Okay.
So, the first one, if you guys do not know, I am Kenya.
And I'm Kiana.
And we are identical mirror image twins.
Yeah.
So what that means is that I'm right-handed.
I'm left-handed.
My sister's left-handed, yes. And so we were literally to stand in front of a mirror. Everything would be identical. Yes. And the only thing that is different on us is the fact that I'm right-handed and my sister is left-handed. So that's why they call us mirror imaged. All right, so there are two types of twins. You can have identical twins, and then you have fraternal twins. As you can see, there's very
Major differences.
There's very major differences with fraternal twins. That is not the case with my sister and I, and we are rare twins. Actually,
Yeah,
because we're mirror
mirror-imaged.
imaged. Yes, you don't find our kind everywhere. So, yes. All right, so again, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the first question.
So the first question is, do twins skip a generation?
And the answer is yes. They actually do skip a generation. Typically, if twins run in your family, then every other generation will have twins. That's the way that it's supposed to go.
Unless we've seen cases where it won't skip a generation, but that's more than likely because twins run on both sides of the family.
Yeah.
So they're more likely, that next generation is more likely to have a set of twins.
Yes.
Or if you find people who have gone through fertility in order to produce a child, they end up with twins or triplets or something like that. So
all right, so the second question is, do twins have the same fingerprints? The answer is no, they do not. Even though twins have the same look, they do not have the same DNA, and so then therefore they cannot have the same fingerprints. We are our own individual person with our own identity. All right.
The next question is, can a boy and a girl be identical twins? The answer to this question is no.
No.
If they are twins, they're going to be fraternal.
Yeah. All right, so the fourth question is, can twins read each other's minds? The answer is yes, they can. My sister and I have had many experiences in which we were in different states and we were able to read each other's mind. One story that we have particularly is read each other's mind or feel each other's pain. One story that we have in particular was when we started out going in with our collegiate career, meaning we went to different colleges when we first went away to a university. We were in two completely different states, and she would contact me or I would contact her whenever she was feeling some kind of pain or whenever I was feeling some kind of pain. Ironically, we were both having the same pain at the same time in the same area.
Yeah.
And just didn't even know just didn't know whatsoever. In addition to that, we can read each other's minds, or we think the same thoughts, and we have the tendency to finish each other's sentences. With us being so close, and in addition to that, being identical twins and being in the womb together, we just think a lot alike. And so there isn't a lot that we have to say in order to know what the other one is thinking.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we'll come together and have a conversation about what we were thinking afterward, and we're like, oh my goodness, we were thinking the same thing. You was thinking the same thing, I was thinking the same thing. Wow.
Yeah, but then I find also that happens typically when people are really close. It doesn't happen just with twins. I feel like it's kind of easier for it to happen when you're twins, and then when you grow up and you're close and you're best friends and things of that nature, then you have a tendency to read each other's minds. But I've seen married couples also who can read each other's minds because they're so close and they share every thought and everything together.
Yeah.
So, but it is more common. Yes, it is more common with identical twins. Okay. So, next question is, do twins have their own language? And I would have to say yes. We would say yes to this, absolutely. We've even met other sets of twins who have their own language, like they speak. I don't know.
It's weird.
Like they'll make up their own language that only they can understand.
Right.
And that's what Kenya and I have done. And it's not something that we intentionally did. It just happened growing up. And
you know, the interesting thing is that I was watching a documentary about long lost twins that ended up finding each other, like maybe when they got in their 20s. They didn't know they were twins. One was in France, the other one was in California. They found each other like on YouTube or some social media platform, came together, and they ended up making up their own language, and they had no idea that it was a common thread that most twins do. And so we'll demonstrate what our language sounds like for you guys. Again, it isn't something that we intentionally did, but we made up our own language, and we were like, man, maybe like 8, 9 years old or something like that, and it's just something that we still to this day get a kick out of.
and it's crazy.
It is crazy. So like, don't judge us before we.
Do you really want to do this?
Before we let you guys hear our language, do not judge us. Just know that it is very common for twins. So I'm going to talk to my sister in our language. It is so. It sounds like we're like speaking in tongues. Like, if any of you guys know what it sounds like to catch the Holy Ghost and speak in tongues, that is what it sounds like. But it is something that we get a kick out of, and like it means absolutely nothing. But it still means everything to us because we're able to read each other's minds at times. Like, we can say something like that that's so meaningless and sounds like just so silly, and it's like everything to us. It's something that we share. So.
And like Kenya said, it doesn't mean anything, but we can both just kind of have a moment where we want to be really, really silly, and we'll break out into using our own language, and we just look at each other and roll, y'all, just crack up. So like Kenya said, like, it's not like I can decode what she said or she can decode what I said. It means nothing, but we both kind of understand that in that moment we're just being silly with one another. It's like a different way to connect.
Right.
So the next question is, can there be a hidden twin? And this is referring to, like, you know, when you're pregnant and the woman gets an ultrasound, can there be a hidden twin? And in many cases, yes, there has been. The ultrasound can only see a snapshot of the woman's womb. And so lots of times the twin could be kind of hiding behind there, behind the other one. And there have been many cases where once the woman has gone to give birth, she ended up with two and didn't expect it. So I've always felt like those stories were very interesting.
Definitely.
But yeah.
So the next question is, can twins have different birthdays? And the answer to that is yes, they can. Twins can, or a mother can go into labor like at the midnight hour or something like that, or maybe like around the 11 o'clock hour, and can give birth to one twin at like 11:55 p.m. and then give birth to the other twin at like 12 a.m. because most twins are like 5 to 10 minutes apart. A common time frame is most twins are like 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, about 5 minutes apart. We've met twins that were as far as like 30 minutes apart. So I mean, just think like if a mother went into labor at like 11:30, you know, and gave birth to the first twin at 11:30 and then the second one at like midnight, they're gonna have birthdays on the same days, you know.
Different days.
Different days, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so next question is, do twins run in families? And we kind of touched on this earlier. Yes, we feel like you would have to have twins run in your family in order to become a twin. But most times, it is genetic. But again, there are different circumstances.
Okay, and so the final question that we have is, what causes identical twins? Now I'm going to go ahead and read this one right off of the page so that I'll be able to explain it to you all thoroughly. But what causes identical twins is to form identical twins, one fertilized egg splits into two and develops two babies. From that one egg, it has the same genetic information. And so just picture one egg splitting into two with the same identical genetic information, splits into two eggs, and then it's fertilized by two sperm, and it produces two genetically unique children again, with the same genetic information. So that's what causes twins. So that's it. That's it. We wanted to answer these questions for you guys because we get asked a lot of questions about how it feels to be a twin, you know, how are twins formed. All of the questions that we ask you guys are common questions that we're asked. So if you guys have any other questions for us, be sure to leave them down below. Be sure to leave the comments and leave the questions down below. As always, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And thank you guys so much for supporting us.
Yes.
And for deciding to take this journey along with us.
Yes.
And until our next Twin Talk Tuesday, bye. My sister, she kept walking. Told the girl that she didn't want to fight her. She kept walking. The girl then reaches to grab her with my sister's back turned toward the girl. The girl reaches to grab her, and that's when Kiana turned around and just let her tell it. It was over in like 2.5 seconds.
Molly walked her.
Big